Okay, guys. So, real quick, just like we did last week, we'll be doing this is the weekend, so we'll do the weekly market overview. Let us observe how what is going on in the market right now and how you can position. Right, for those of you that will come across this video early, you'll be able to position for your trades for next week. And while for those that do not come across this video on time, you would be able to learn one or two things on how to carry out the weekly analysis. Okay, so it's not really difficult, but you need to pay attention very well to right to the details. It means you need to understand the story the price is telling and understand the price action. So you're calm, you are unbiased, right? Unbiased, no sentiments attached. You're just looking at the chart. You don't care about the numbers, what the price of the chart is at that time. You're just looking at price action, right? So we could do this and catch good trades. We did it last week and definitely we caught some good trades, right? So if you notice, this is the weekly time frame. Let's start out from the weekly time frame, right? So it's basic understanding. We know that all through here, market has been bullish. Then market made a low, a high here, a low, and another swing high. Then all of a sudden, on this particular range, we saw market shifting structure right here. We saw market shifting, sweeping this high, right? So it's not just it sweeps and close above, right? It sweeps and we saw the close above, so that's a clean liquidity grab there. So after sweeping and a protected high now, that's taking out a low, right? Book structure to the downside, so that's a clean market structure shift on that move right here on the weekly time frame. It's clean, right? And basic structure that you can understand. So this is the sweep that happened here. So this weekly candle that actually swept liquidity, market made a pullback to the other block right here. You can see it's a three candle move. There was a fair value gap. The market reacted to, filled the fair value gap and tapped into the weekly order block. You see that, right? Then immediately tapped into that region. Market immediately switched to bearish, and we have 1 day 3 hours for this candle to close, right? So if this candle closes like this, right, it will tell us that, oh, this is a kind of a bearish, a very strong bearish pattern. You can see it right here. Okay, those of you tell me this, what the name of this pattern, right? Comment, drop it on the comment section. What is this, right? A bullish candle, a doji, and a bearish engulfing, right? That even close it. We don't know, right? We don't know if it's going to close below, but it doesn't matter. As long as it's closing below this, it's bearish, right? So we have 1 day 3 hours for the candle to close. So the market can do two things, can actually happen, right? You can see on this weekly time frame, two things can happen. Okay, the market can either on the new week, right, after this candle closes, the market can make a pullback, right? The new week candle can make a pullback to this sell region, okay, to this sell region before a continuation, or before a continuation to lower regions, or let me make it out like this. So we can have the new weekly candle open, makes a move to the upside, then pulls back down. It means during the opening of the week, we might see a what, a buy. We might catch a buy setup before a sell, or if the new weekly candle opens, we might just see a continuation to the downside, right? Targeting this liquidity or any other liquidity regions here. Okay, because if this buy and sell pressure is strong, you can see it's completely selling, strong pressure, right? We can just see a continuation. If the new week candle open, we can see we can get a continuation, or we can get a pullback, then a continuation to the downside. So any of these possible things can happen. So how do you know which one? You will now concentrate on the reactions you see on lower time frame. So if we go to the daily time frame, we still see it the same thing, right? This was that sweep, this is the break of structure or the market structure shift here, On the daily, this guy acted as structural liquidity, and that's what market took out right here before selling aggressively. So let's just arrange this, and that's weekly sweep right there. Okay, so on the daily time frame, the market has been selling aggressively to the downside, right? And of course, so just like what we observed on the weekly time frame, like I said, we can get a pullback. If the new week candle open, two things can happen. We can get a pullback, right? Maybe take out these highs, because when this high was even created, it was an invalid pullback. So we can get, it's either we get a pullback if buyers can enter this market from this particular zone, because this zone, right, that pushed market up has actually took out a form of liquidity, and the structural liquidity that market has taken out right here. You can see this move break, right? This move could not take out this high. It made a pullback, then before we got the break, right? And this low swept liquidity. So if market can actually make get a buy momentum, we might see a move like this, then a continuation. If we do not see that move, then we can just see the new week candle open, slight pullback, then would see a continuation to the downside. So these are the two possible scenarios that I think, right, based on what BTC is doing, can play out. A aggressive sell continuation, or a pullback to the upside, in order to just make a pullback. Or maybe, if of course this is a demand zone but the structure has shifted bearish, so if market can buy, make a slight pullback for just taking out this liquidity here, filling this imbalance right here, it will give at least sellers good premium levels for them to sell, right, to continue their sell to the downside. We can have that move. Or we've seen scenarios market does not do that, right, it just goes ahead to break it to the downside, and everybody waiting to catch those sales here might not get that opportunity. But we do not know exactly what market wants to do. If we switch down to the 4 hours time frame, looking at this, you'd see that since market has been ranging, so let's follow the price action, right? We caught some sales here. Here we caught the buy and the sell setup. Of course, we caught a mini sell setup here, and I caught the buy. Actually, did not even see this setup, but look at this on the 4 hours time frame. This imbalance here. Look at how market bought. Right. For those of you watching the videos, or you're coming across this for the first time, you will just go, if you go to my previous videos when I talked about liquidity to take, liquidity to target, imbalances, you understand this particular concept. It's a brainer, like it's a brainer, a delicious concept. 4 hours imbalance, you take your entry, and you can see how market mitigated the 50% level of this 4 hour imbalance and sold to the downside, right, to continue this range. And of course, market also created a form of imbalance here again, and right now we can see that market has also mitigated the 50% region of this imbalance. Okay, you can see same price action here. We had a little bit of a range. Market pulled up, right, filled the imbalance, right, and sold. So market has already tapped into this imbalance right here. You know, this weekend the market is a bit slow. So what can we expect? We might expect a continuation since this imbalance. The new day market can just do a move like this, and we might see a sell-off, right? Or if we're now to expect the same scenario, we're looking at higher time frames, maybe a possible demand zone on this level, right? A possible demand zone on this level might what, after we might see a sell from this guy down. And if it's those scenarios, remember we talked about two scenarios, right? The scenarios where we have a buy to take out this region on the upside, then market continues to sell, right? We talked about that on using the weekly time frame. Or you can see market just making pulls from this side, this demand, right? You can see our market selling around this range and breaks down. So these two possible scenarios can happen, right? But from this, right, from this we can see here, from the current price action we can see here, market has pulled into a high time frame imbalance, right? We should be expecting market to at least take out this liquidity right here, right? Form of this liquidity, right? This low. Even if market wants to make a buy move, of course this zone is sell, and there's a lot of liquidity resting here, but this is also a strong demand zone that might want to maybe move market. If you look at that on the key level, you can see it right here, key levels on this range on the weekly time frame. It's also key level on the daily time frame. Rejection blocks everywhere, so 50% of that level is a good demand zone that you might not want to play with, should in case. But of course, since the market has been bearish, we would respect more bearish scenarios, right? But now, if you look at this on the 4 hours time frame, we are the 4 hours time frame. Let me wrap this up. You see that market just the same way market reacted off the 4 hours imbalance here and sold. Market reacted off a 4 hour imbalance here, but we are yet to see the sell. Immediately after the impact on that mid range of the imbalance, a rejection occurred, but market has been ranging since then, right? But we know that this is a target, that this liquidity target, it's a range that I don't think market will ignore, right? So what do we expect? Okay, let me mark this range very clear so we know exactly where the 50% rejection level is, right here. Okay, good. So you see someone that who was taking a sell setup from here aggressively, stop loss just above that range, would be expecting to take profit here, and that should give him a 1:4 trade. But right now, as market triggered, you can see market has just been ranging, right, without coming to attack this low. And of course, it should attack this low and even sell a bit lower to this rejection block right here, right? Even if it wants to make a buy pullback, market should take out this liquidity because it has been ranging for long, right? And of course, we have tapped into an imbalance, internal range. We should take out external range, right, based on our strategy. So if you want to maybe see something here, let's go to 15 minutes time frame and let's look at market reaction. Let's go back to 4 hours. I want to check out something. Okay, just a pullback, right? 1 hour, just a pullback. 15 minutes, just a pullback. So the market has been ranging, but the market should target this liquidity level before making a pull to the upside, because we have tapped into. So you might want to look out for, say, a trade opportunity. If this is the equal lows, this market might use this as engineered liquidity a bit. This other block can be a region. You know, this is a range, so this other block can be a region, but you want to watch very well because market can also take out this high because it has been ranging. So of course, this touch on this upside can also be liquidity level. Why? Because there was no even internal break after this rejection. There was no internal break even after this rejection. So this highs, this low, right, except you put your stop loss above the region here. So it depends on how market wants to open, so you should be careful. Assuming there was an even a good internal structural break, I would even want to pay respect to this, right? But if the sell is strong, market can make a range from here to target here, but I wouldn't want to do that. Why? Because there was no even internal structural break. Market can take out this and comes to attack this. Possible scenario can happen, right? So but I would say if you have not entered the trade all the way from the rejection block on the 4 hours time frame with your stop loss above that levels, you would want to just wait and observe. So how do we observe? We want to see how market let me take this out. I just hope you guys understand. I'm quit being in a hurry in this video, right? So if you're not catch the move from this rejection block, you want to take note of how market will react when it comes to this particular demand zone. We don't know if it's going to hold, so there's no aggressive sale because of how the weekly candle is going to close, if it closes that way, right? But market can do that move just the way I explained. So we want to observe market reaction when it comes here. If we take this out aggressively, we would enter at a pullback then we'll catch trades to the lower regions. Market will give you that, right? But if it does not break here, would wait for market to maybe make a reaction move that I want to go higher, then we enter for continuation, but our target will be at this region here. We'd want to take out this high. It means the weekly candle wants to do a pullback, right? The weekly candle wants to do a pullback. If it does not, we'll get an aggressive sell continuation once the market opens on Monday, once the market continue trading on the trading week on Monday. So this is the observations, right, that we have seen here on the BTC, coming from higher time frame to lower time frame. These are the possible scenarios that can happen. They're just two, right? But we'll wait for observation. And you can also use these confluences that you see on BTC to analyze other pairs. Like go to ETH, check out what it's doing. Go to XRP, check out what it's doing. Go to other pairs. XRP has been doing well so far. I think there have been beautiful what what do I call it? What do I call that? Okay, let's go to the daily time frame on XRP. So you might want to the price action of that XRP has been exhibiting. It's beautiful price action that would give SMC traders good trades, right? You can see here liquidity imbalance, point of interest, and you can see good sell side right here, good sell side right here. I think you observe that more even on the 4 hours time frame, right? The price action on this guy has been beautiful, right? You can see lots of reaction of imbalances, and of course market has been trading a pullback for a continuation. So one here, good move on this place right here. XRP exhibiting good pulls, right? Okay, this one too, right? So it's a good pair to actually have. So a lot of people asking, I think I got a question on Twitter. Guy was asking, um I don't know if we should be trading multiple pairs, or we should just pick few pairs. It's basically on you, right? It's basically on you. You can decide to pick two pairs, but based on your strategy or the strategy you're trading and how best you can see it. For me, I focus on BTC and ETH, right? If I'm bored, I can just go. If I'm bored, I want to study, I can just come across other pairs once I study their price action, their recent price action, and it is aligning with what I see on the market and what I enjoy seeing, then I will go and want to trade them, right? I'll go and want to trade them if it's aligning to the current price action you've been trading on your main pairs. So it's your choice. You must not take mine as a standard, right? I don't give what I do basically in trading as a standard for other traders. I just teach them what I do, and they can go ahead and make their own choice, right? So weekends are basically for study. A lot of you overwhelm yourself Mondays to Friday, at least Saturday, Sunday. Use it to study. Use it to make a research on your charts. See, but you just after money, 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 money. Just after money. You need to understand what has changed. The same analysis you do might have changed. A news might have come up that have shifted structure you wouldn't know. So you want to go back, research, prepare yourself, your mind for the new week. Okay, that's how you do it. Prepare yourself for the new week. It's important as traders we do that. This liquidity level here um, on XRP is not going to leave it. Remember when I think I spotted one on ETH. Where's ETH? And I told you guys that there was a form of liquidity level that ETH left, and there is no way it's going to leave that liquidity without sweeping it. Where is it, for crying out? Okay, so let's look at that. I think when ETH was ranging here, I told you guys that this low ETH is definitely going to take it out, and you can see how it took it out aggressive. Wow, what am I seeing here on ETH? I think I'll be doing market overview on ETH and BTC. This is good. This Okay, of course, there's a form of imbalance here, but would this hold? This is 4 hours. This is a good bullish structure that formed here on ETH, and market has been ranging slowly. Can we have something like this, or we have something like this? Anyone? So we just watch the reactions, right? Just study the reactions and know what market is doing, because the structure here on ETH. So if there's going to be a good pullback, I would see one here. Of course, this level of imbalance is also a point of interest to take note of, right? But of course, market has tapped into a good level of demand that is likely, or like is likely to create. Of course, this is a good breaker, right? It's likely should create, at least should create an impulsive momentum, right? For a pullback, to say 50% region at least. Good. Aha, you can see say 50% region if we get that pullback. So let's observe. You guys should study your chart and observe what can play out. So because market just bounced off a good breaker block right here, right? This closed to the downside. A lot of people that say it's market structure shift, market took it out, took this particular supply zone out, and it just tested that region on the daily time frame and closed with this candle. So right, it's a good region. Maybe it does not change the structure bullishly completely, but it should create, if this is a good breaker, this should create, and there was liquidity swept, this should create a pullback to at least the 50% of this sell zone, which is corresponding to this imbalance. If market moves this way, then of course it's going to be a good opportunity to catch a buy setup and to also catch a sell setup, right, to regions of this, right? But of course, you can also see market aggressively selling. It depends, right, on the reaction we get. But this should be a good level to catch a buy. Right, when we get to this imbalance level, we should be taking profits to catch a continuation sell to the downside. Then it's going to be a beautiful sell. Once you see that reaction moves like this, I love it, right? I love it. So I'll be watching. In fact, I'll be more even interested in catching this sell side move than the buy, because if the buy is quite impulsive, then the sell is going to be beautifully impulsive. You're going to catch a come on, just back test your chart and see moves that are like this. That week you're going to make good money. 2 trades, 3 trades, that's enough. So guys, that'll be all for today. Keep studying, all right? I'll see you guys on the next one.